Have you ever looked around a room and realized everyone is just nodding along? Yeah, me too. We're diving into the courage of originality today, going way beyond conformity. Look, if you're a professional navigating a fast-moving, high-stakes environment, you already know the drill. There is this intense, completely unspoken pressure to just go along to get along, right? Well, today, we're challenging that default setting. We're looking at the source material on what it actually takes to build real, authentic momentum in your career. Let's get right into it.
Fitting in? It's easy. Following the expected path, repeating the same familiar opinions, chasing goals we haven't even really questioned. It's comfortable. Blending in feels safe because, well, approval almost always lives there, and frankly, whether we want to admit it or not, we unconsciously optimize for that acceptance every single day.
So I've got a really direct question for you. Where are you shrinking yourself? Seriously, take a second and think about that. Where are you adapting, minimizing your own perspective, or just kind of quieting your voice down, all to make absolutely sure you fit perfectly into the room?
Okay, Section 1, the illusion of safety. Why exactly does the modern workplace exhaust us with this pressure to conform?
The truth is, it's not like we're doing this maliciously. Craving approval, that is literally hardwired into our biology. Acceptance feels incredibly safe, and rejection feels deeply threatening. So what happens is we start unconsciously shaping our decisions around external validation. You're sitting in a meeting, you have an idea, but right before you speak, that voice kicks in. Are people going to get this? Will this make me look weird? What if I stand out a bit too much? And in that exact split second of hesitation, we quietly trade our authenticity for comfort.
It's really a choice between two paths. Picture this like a split screen. On one side, you have the safe path. It gives you predictable expectations, familiar routines, and keeps criticism to a bare minimum. Sounds great, right? But safety has a massive hidden cost. It quietly suppresses your actual potential. Now look at the other side, the significant path. This one is tough. It demands independent thinking, serious self-trust, and yeah, a willingness to fail visibly. But here's the catch. This is the path that creates life-changing possibility. The biggest opportunities almost always start out as uncommon choices. So how do we actually walk that path? Let's move to Section 2, the anatomy of originality. It's time to stop imitating and start building authentically.
This quote right here absolutely hits the nail on the head. The moment you choose an unconventional path, people notice. Standing out means you're visible. And let's be real, visibility creates judgment. Doing things differently naturally disrupts what's familiar. So when you make that leap, you're not always going to be met with a standing ovation. You're going to get skepticism. You'll get confusion, simply because people instinctively resist what they don't immediately understand. Let's map this out on a timeline of perception, because this changes everything. Day 1, you make an unconventional choice. To everyone around you, it looks incredibly reckless. Then, month 3 rolls around. You are deep in the thick of the misunderstanding phase. People are doubting your whole direction. But if you hold the line, something shifts. By year 1, that same risky choice is suddenly recognized as a respected, visionary breakthrough. The timeline changes how people perceive it. What looks like a massive risk today is very often the visionary standard of tomorrow.
Which brings us to a crucial realization. The crowd follows trends. And hey, trends are super comfortable because they come with built-in social proof, right? If everyone else is doing it, the risk feels shared. But true professional breakthroughs, they almost never happen inside crowded thinking. The bold are out there asking different questions, experimenting, and building things that just don't make sense to the crowd yet.
Getting to that visionary status takes serious grit. Which brings us to Section 3, surviving the misunderstanding phase. Think about a time you bit your tongue in a meeting, holding back a game-changing idea just because you knew the pushback was coming. We have all been there. We really need to validate how tough this phase is. The reality of standing out is that difference is almost always criticized before it's celebrated. History proves this over and over. People are going to question your decisions, and honestly, they'll project their own fears and insecurities onto your unconventional choices. That is completely normal. And it's exactly why external approval simply cannot be your compass.
Because if you do use the crowd as your compass, well, look at the cost. Sure, blending in protects you from criticism in the short term, but over time, it disconnects you from your own identity. When you're constantly adapting to fit everyone else's expectations, your voice weakens, your creativity narrows, your originality just fades away. You end up losing the strongest advantage you have in your career, your distinct perspective.
So we have to flip the script. Let's look at Section 4, building authentic confidence. Time to move away from external validation and build up internal standards. This requires a complete mindset shift.
You have to stop asking, what's going to be accepted here, and start asking, what do I actually want? What is actually true to my perspective? You've got to start measuring your worth by how aligned you are with your own values and ideas, rather than the immediate knee-jerk reaction of the room.
So how do we actually do this? Here's a framework to build that courage. Step 1, spend less time seeking consensus. Remember, not every meaningful idea will be understood right away. Step 2, develop internal standards. Self-respect is way more stable than trying to win external approval. Step 3, normalize temporary misunderstanding. Clarity usually shows up after a period of consistency. And step 4, protect your originality. Imitating others weakens your professional identity, while inspiration is your true leverage. I really challenge you to apply this to the very next big decision you make.
And keep in mind, the courage to be different, it's like a muscle. It grows through repetition. Choosing alignment over popularity is not some one-time magical event. It is a consistent daily discipline. It's about showing up authentically, consistently enough that your work and your leadership become totally unmistakable.
Now, here is where our focus takes a critical turn. Section 5, enabling others to stand out. Because this isn't just about you anymore. We're talking about the ripple effect. When you finally stop chasing constant approval, you gain this incredible freedom. And guess what? Your freedom gives permission to everyone around you. That's the ripple effect of authenticity. By having the guts to express an unconventional idea, you actually create a psychologically safe space for your entire team to start thinking differently too. Suddenly, questioning assumptions is safe. Diversity of thought starts driving actual innovation. Your personal originality transforms into collective leverage for your whole organization. It's a real game changer.
At the end of the day, the future is shaped by people who are willing to challenge what's normal. And we're not talking about rebellion for the sake of it. We're just making noise. It's about driving intelligent, respectful, and consistent progress. Innovation just doesn't happen by repeating what's already there. It comes from seeing things differently.
So, the core takeaway is pretty simple. Conformity costs way more than courage over time. Sure, blending in might save you from a slightly awkward meeting today, but owning your distinct perspective, that creates long-term value, deep trust, and a kind of positioning that blending in never, ever could.
As we wrap up this overview today, I want to leave you with a thought that goes way beyond your own career path. True leadership is always about that ripple effect. Growth isn't just how far you go, it's how many you take with you. So who are you enabling today?